Some great news recently for South Australian grain growers. The South Australian Treasurer, Tom Koutsantonis, has instructed the Essential Services Commission of South Australia to undertake a review of the South Australian bulk grain supply chain. This comes after the SA Parliamentary Select Committee into the grain handling industry in its final report in 2011 made a recommendation that ESCOSA undertake a review into the supply chain in South Australia. The purpose of the review, which started last month, is to determine how reasonable the costs are underpinning the South Australian bulk grain supply chain, including the charges over the last 10 years and identifying any inefficiencies. The inquiry's terms of reference will ensure a detailed and thorough review of the supply chain's costs, their efficiency, their cost recovery and harvest trends over the past decade. GPSA believes this is great news for South Australian grain growers. Since the Select Committee handed down its final report, GPSA has consistently called for the recommendations made to be implemented. Supply chain costs in South Australia make up a significant portion of the costs of exporting and producing grain out of South Australia. While growers may not pay all charges directly, they pay the whole of the supply chain costs through the net price received for their grain because they're at the end of the line. GPSA has always maintained that in order to drive an efficient and cost-effective supply chain, there needs to be transparency in the costs of each component. All parties, including growers, can make a submission into the review. The deadline is May 12. There will also be public consultation from the draft report handed down by ESCOSA in the second half of 2017. More information is available on the ESCOSA website, escosa.sa.gov.au, or go to the GPSA website and follow the links.